On Mars, the battleship Yukazi is locked in a losing fight against the superior Gamila's fleet. The Gamilas are an imperial alien race from the distant planet of the same name. The attack on the Yukazi grows increasingly harsh. The commander, Kodai, sacrifices himself so his fellowship can escape. Captain Akita refuses to leave them behind, but Kodai insists and ends up sacrificing his ship so that Yamato can escape. 5 years ago, Earth came under assault by the Gamilas. They launched a relentless strike, sending radioactive meteors crashing down in hopes of wiping out all human life. Despite the devastation, humanity endured by retreating beneath the surface, building underground cities to escape the deadly radiation above. Now it is 2199. Humanity is on the verge of extinction. Those who survive in the underground cities have lost hope and are simply waiting for the end. On Earth, a man named Suzumu goes out to scavenge metal for trading. He wears protective gear and ventures onto the radioactive surface. As he scans for metals, an alien probe comes crashing down on him. When he wakes up, he is disoriented and bleeding. His helmet is gone. He rises slowly and attempts to walk. As he stands, his head begins to throb. Not far from where he is standing, he spots the probe on the ground. He picks it up, but he collapses again. Shortly after, a ship descends above him. It is Akita's ship. They analyze the capsule that was found. They discover that the mysterious probe carries detailed blueprints. These schematics hint at advanced technology which they cannot understand. Akita is told that the person found with the capsule is heavily exposed to radiation. A crew member informs him there is no hope for survival. As they are talking, Suzumu storms into the room, screaming and shouting accusations. The doctors and guards try to restrain him. He accuses Akita of using the other ship as a shield to escape. He claims Akita ran away while his crew was dying. Akita then hears one of the doctors calling Suzumu Kodai. Suzumu reveals that he is the brother of Mamoru. Mamoru Kodai is his brother. He continues accusing Akita of using his brother. He lunges at Akita but is punched by Yuki, another crew member. Suzumu is then taken away. After he is removed, the doctor apologizes to Akita for what happened. Akita then asks how it is possible that Suzumu is still alive despite the radiation exposure. No one has an answer. Later, Akita speaks with a higher-ranking official about their situation. The general believes they should evacuate Earth with a chosen few, but Akita disagrees. He argues they must evacuate those who can give humanity hope, not the elites. After this, the general gives a speech about humanity's future. He reveals what they found in the capsule that was recovered earlier. Inside the probe were messages from a distant world called Iskandar. They offer a technology that can eliminate radiation. There are also precise coordinates pointing to Iskandar. Now the government has decided to send the last remaining ship. The people protest, questioning how it can travel that far. But the general tells them that although certain information cannot be disclosed, there is a technology that can accelerate the ship. Iskandar is their last hope. For this journey, the government is asking for volunteers. Suzumu steps forward to volunteer. The doctor, seeing that he is still alive, struggles to believe it. He reminds her there are people waiting in line. Seeing his experience, she is once again stunned. He was in the force before and he is re-enlisting. Suzumu then stumbles upon Yuki as he walks inside. She asks how he managed to volunteer considering it is Akita's ship. He shrugs it off. She asks what he is up to, but before he can answer, an alarm blares. He runs toward the first bridge and tells Akita where to go. She challenges him, asking who he is to give her orders. He then tells her that he is now a squadron leader and that he is counting on her. A Gamila's missile is approaching their ship. Akita gives the order to launch. Everyone takes their positions, including Suzumu. Akita realizes that they are not going to make it and orders the use of the wave gun. Sanada reminds him it has not been tested, but they decide to use it anyway. They charge the energy to maximum and fire the wave gun. The impact is powerful. Back on the ground, the control team holds their breath as they monitor the situation. For a moment, Yamato vanishes completely, but shortly after it reappears on the monitors. Akita appears on screen and speaks to the general. He tells him that they used the wave gun and exposed their position, but they had no choice. The general asks if they can proceed and if Yamato is operational. Akita confirms. He wants to leave the solar system before the attackers strike again. Inside the ship, Suzumu joins Shima and they begin talking. As they chat, several crew members who previously served with Suzumu arrive. They express their gratitude for working under him again. Then they pledge their allegiance once more. One of them suggests celebrating their reunion and pulls out a bottle of alcohol. While this happens, Yuki sits alone at another table. She is upset that everyone is fixated on Suzumu. When they try to include her, she lashes out. She asks Suzumu why he came back and where he was all those years. She accuses him of being a coward, saying he wasn't there when his brother was killed and when their ships were attacked. As she continues hurling accusations, one of the crew members lunges at her, but she punches him, knocking him unconscious. Later, Akita announces to the crew to get ready for their first warping. Everyone in the ship falls unconscious for a while, but they get up immediately. They have successfully reached their destination, and no harm has happened to their ship, but their relief is short-lived. Soon, a Gamila's ship approaches to attack. Suzumu starts giving commands to use the wave gun, but he is told that they cannot use it after warping because it draws on the same energy. Akita decides they will warp again, but it will take 20 minutes to recharge. So until then, Akita gives the order to Suzumu to target the enemy's warp engines so that they cannot follow. Suzumu gives the order to a crew called the Black Tigers, but Yuki already takes an aircraft to go and fight the Gamila's ships. Outside, Yuki launches her attack. She has received the same kind of attack before, but she manages to overpower them. However, when Suzumu tries to reach her, she is unconscious. Finally, she wakes up and tells him that the debris has destroyed her engines. She suggests leaving her there, but Suzumu decides to go after her. He gets on another ship and leaves the main vessel. He tells Yuki to jump when he gives the signal and approaches her ship. At the same time, a large squadron approaches Yamato. Akita orders an attack on them. Suzumu manages to get close enough for Yuki to jump and she lands on his ship. Akita gives the order to treat the incoming attack like a missile. When the enemy draws close, they will roll sideways and evade. He warns the crew to be ready. After the evasion, they will retrieve Suzumu and Yuki, and then they will warp. As planned, the moment the squadrons get close, they evade, recover Suzumu and Yuki, and then warp. Suzumu runs inside with Yuki in his arms. She has been unconscious, and Suzumu has woken her up. The moment she wakes up, they put her on a stretcher so she can be treated properly. Then Akita appears and tells Suzumu that his actions have endangered the ship's safety. But Suzumu tells him that this is how he operates, and he would never leave a crew member behind. Akita then orders him to be taken to the brig. While he is sitting inside, Chief Tokugawa comes to visit him. He makes fun of him for being in the brig already. Suzumu is frustrated because he believes what he did was right. Seeing how he acts, Tokugawa remarks that he reminds him of Akita when he was young. As they are talking, the doctor arrives. Suzumu asks about Yuki, and he is told that she is fine. The three of them sit together for a drink. The doctor tells Suzumu that in the previous battle, Akita was caught in a very tight spot and had to make a difficult decision. She then tells him that Fuyuzuki hasn't come back either. The navigator of that ship was Akita's son, and that entire crew never returned. Shortly after, Akita announces that they are going to leave the solar system. They are heading to a place where no human has ever been. Communication with Earth will be difficult, so he advises the crew to say whatever they need to say before departure. Then the crew lines up to call their loved ones. Each of them takes turns speaking on the phone. Suzumu is the last one to make the call. He is taken out of the brig and led to the room where the computer is handling communications. As he is about to enter, Yuki exits. He asks how she is, but she is angry at him. She tells him she would have preferred to die rather than endanger the ship. Suzumu tells her to relax and playfully nudges her nose before leaving. Back in the cafe, Shima approaches Yuki. He asks if she has seen Suzumu, and she tells him that he is in the message room sending a message to his family, but Suzumu doesn't have a family. Shima sits down to tell her the story. During a war with the Gamilas, they diverted a bomb. That bomb landed on Station 2. Suzumu's parents and Shima's pregnant wife were there. They managed to save the child, but he cannot speak, and Suzumu quit the force after that. Suzumu, who is just sitting in the message room without anyone to send a message to, has his time end. The crew warps again, but they notice one Gamila's fighter nearby. From the looks of it, it is not attacking. Akita orders the ship to bring it on board so they can analyze it. Later, Akita undergoes a medical examination. The doctor tells him that his illness has progressed. He also doesn't have much time left. Meanwhile, the crew gathers to examine the captured ship, but suddenly the alien pilot springs to life and attacks. They shoot it down, but when they least expect it, the alien possesses Hajime Sato. Sato, now under the control of the alien, tells him that he is called Dessler. Suzumu asks why they are attacking Earth, but Dessler grins and tells him that they are not attacking Earth but renovating it. At that moment, Yuki walks in, and Suzumu shoots Sato with his stun gun. In that instant, the alien leaves Sato's body. After this, they all gather in the cafeteria. They tease and laugh at Sato as he complains about being in pain from getting shot. Later, Suzumu goes to talk to Akita. He has been summoned. Akita asks if he can take over as acting captain. The plan was for Mamoru to succeed him, but now that role is open for Suzumu. Suzumu refuses to take over, saying he cannot do things the way Akita does, but Akita insists that he doesn't need to imitate him and that he can lead in his own way. Then he grabs his radio and announces to everyone that Suzumu is the acting captain from now on. Shortly after, the Gamillas attack and the crew rushes to respond. At the same time, the ship they brought on board begins glowing. It is transmitting their location to the others. That is how the Gamillas found them. Suzumu scrambles and gives orders to everyone. Ando reports that the elevator shaft is hit and they are stuck inside. Suzumu tells him to wait until they get them out. After the call, Suzumu prepares the wave gun. The crew fires the wave gun. They successfully manage to destroy the ship attacking them, but then they notice an attack coming from below. The third bridge is being targeted. Suzumu hesitates, but with no other option, he tells Yuki to take out the third bridge. She fires at it, and the third bridge along with the attacking ship plunges down. Suzumu goes to Akita and tells him what happened. He let the 6 crew members in the third bridge die, and now he thinks he is not fit to be a captain. Akita asks why he decided to come back. Suzumu tells him that he wanted to see what kind of person Iskandar is. He also wants to see Earth green again. He then asks Akita if what he did as acting captain was right. Akita gets up and gives advice to Suzumu. He then tells him that he is doing a good job as acting captain. He also tells him there is something important he needs to share. After his conversation with Akita, Suzumu goes out and stumbles upon Yuki. She is disturbed by what happened earlier. Suzumu apologizes for making her do that, but she tells him that he did what he had to do. But as she comforts him, she herself breaks down. She fired on her own people and she cannot live with it. She starts crying and Suzumu hugs her to calm her down. He then kisses her. An announcement comes in telling everyone to prepare for warp. After the warp, they finally manage to see Iskandar, but once again their joy is short-lived. A missile comes their way. It is launched from Iskandar. The wave gun is not charged. The missile splits into 4. Suzumu orders all guns to be ready and to fire at the same time. The crew launches a counterattack, but it is not enough. Suzumu makes the decision to warp again. After the warp, they find themselves behind Iskandar. Later, when they study the missile, they realize it is from the Gamillas. The crew believes this is a trap. Amidst this, Sanada reveals that there was nothing about radiation in the capsule. There is only a direction and coordinates to reach. Suzumu suggests they follow the coordinates. If it were a trap, the enemy would have attacked when they reached the planet, not before they arrived. There must be a reason why the Gamillas don't want them there. He asks the crew to trust him and they agree. Suzumu gathers everyone and starts giving commands on how they are going to attack. He assigns each team its target location. He then sends a message through the radio. He announces that they will be landing on Iskandar soon. The message they received might be a trap, but if there is even the slightest hope for Earth, they must check it. He motivates the crew not to give up and to fight with everything they have. Then the team prepares for action. Suzumu boards a ship and flies toward Iskandar. As he approaches the ground to land, he sees missiles planted in the area, but the rest of the crew arrives in time. Suzumu's team is attacked relentlessly, but they return fire. They finally reach the coordinates and land. The moment they land, they come under heavy fire from the aliens. An intense shootout erupts. Kodai is shot, but he insists on holding them off while the others move forward. Some of the crew members proceed to the coordinates and find Iskandar. A glowing light appears nearby. Yuki approaches and touches it, and in that moment she is possessed. At the same time, Suzumu has a flashback of his earlier conversation with Akita. Akita had told him the entire story about Kuring radiation is false. The only things they received were the coordinates and the schematics. The story was created because of Suzumu. He survived a high level of radiation that gave hope that radiation might be curable, and perhaps the capsule's sender held the answer. Yuki now delivers a message. The Gamillas and the Iskandarians are actually the same species. The alien reveals that their home world is dying, and they have chosen Earth as its replacement, intending to wipe out humanity to make room. But not all of them agree. The Iskandar faction opposed the plan and was imprisoned for it. Whatever remained of Iskandar was sent to Earth through the capsule. There is no device that can cure radiation, but Yuki herself can serve that purpose. Suzumu was not affected by radiation because of the capsule. She then releases a surge of energy and clears the surrounding area of radiation. When they breathe without masks, they are unharmed. After this, the force possessing Yuki leaves her body and she collapses. The crew continues their journey, but they are attacked again by the Gamillas. Saito and Sanada decide to stay behind so that Suzumu and Yuki can escape. Suzumu protests, saying they will not leave without him, but Sanada insists. When Suzumu and Yuki emerge, they see that all the crew members are dead. Back inside, Saito and Sanada fight to their last breath. Eventually, both are shot, but Sanada has already planted a bomb. Before dying, he detonates the bomb, destroying the citadel along with many Gamillas. Suzumu and Yuki witness the explosion from their ship. They return to Yamato and report what happened to Akita. Akita is sick and lies in a hospital bed. He tells Suzumu to act with caution. Suzumu then returns to the control room. They finally reach Earth. They report that they have found an anti-radiation device. The general cannot believe what he is hearing. Suzumu tells him they will arrive any time now and urges him to stay calm. At that same moment, Akita passes away. But as the crew is enjoying this moment, the Gamillas attack once again. It is a large vessel. The crew scrambles to dodge the unexpected strike. Suzumu contacts Tokugawa, but Tokugawa is heavily injured. He manages to speak a few final words before collapsing to his death. Suddenly, a voice is heard. A face appears. He tells them that they are not going to settle on Earth again, but they are not giving it back either. The previous attack has killed most of them. The figure warns that they are not a race that forgets humiliation. Then he disappears. After this, the crew notices a large formation just outside the ship. It is a massive nuclear reaction and it holds an immense amount of energy. It is going to destroy Earth. Suzumu does not want to give up. He wants to stop them. He asks if they can use the wave motion gun, but is told they cannot because the muzzle is blocked. If they try to use it, Yamato will explode. Desperate, Suzumu decides to ask Akita what to do, but he is told that Akita is dead. He begins to think of ways to save the planet. He asks how many shots they can make with the energy they have left. They can only make one, but if they fire it, Yamato will be destroyed. After this, he orders everyone to abandon the ship. Yuki refuses, but he tells her that this is an order. Shima then insists on staying with him, but Suzumu tells him that he is the only one who can get Yuki safely to Earth. She has a device, and it is essential that she arrive safely. All the crew members leave the ship, but Yuki refuses to. She insists on staying. They argue, and Yuki starts crying. Suzumu tries to comfort her, but he also tells her the truth. He tells her that he doesn't have any family. After he met her, he wanted to care for her and show her the Earth. Now she must let him finish that race. He urges her to go back alone, promising her that he will survive and that he will join her. Yuki becomes emotional, crying and unwilling to let go. With no other option, Suzumu pulls out his stun gun and stuns her. Shima enters and takes the unconscious Yuki with him. Now left alone on the ship, Suzumu gets ready to attack the Gamilla's vessels. As the escape ship passes by, Yuki regains consciousness and sees Suzumu still aboard. She yells, but there is nothing she can do. Suzumu faces an intense assault from the Gamilla's ship. He activates the wave gun and flies directly toward the enemy vessel. Then he rams Yamato into the enemy ship, causing a massive explosion. Many years later, Earth is finally restored, free of radiation. It is now lush and green. Yuki is playing in a field with her son, who is now a toddler. Earth is finally saved.